Swadhi, and welcome to Be My Guest, the program which brings you successful stories of entrepreneurs and organizations in both the domestic and international arenas. I'm Surosha Ratanapian. When we talk about innovation, it inevitably moves the world. And in Thailand nowadays, we have observed a high number of talented innovators and researchers who help improve the society and facilitate our lives with inventions. So in this episode of Be My Guest, we're meeting two innovators. One is the man who deemed to help patients to move down easily from patients' beds, and the other who apply Internet of Things knowledge to wider audiences. So who are they? Let's find out more with me on this episode of Be My Guest. And currently I'm granted the opportunity with Dr. Sitha Sukhasit, the Senior Researcher of National Metal and Material Technology Center of MTech. Swadhi ka.
Swadhi ka.
So first of all, could you introduce yourself a bit to our fans and Be My Guest?
Sure. I'm a researcher at MTech. I design and develop products that can help people's life and improve them.
Okay, and the latest innovation that you have just developed, it's called Ben.
Yes.
So could you tell us a bit of what Ben is?
Ben is a piece of furniture that you can put beside your bed, and it can help you get out and get into bed more safely.
Okay, so could you explain a bit on the features and also the appearance or specifications of the product?
Okay, so Ben is like a wooden step that sits beside your bed, and in order for you to get out of bed safely, you can step on Ben and then place your hand on the handlebar to keep your balance, and then you can step up and down from your bed safely. And this would reduce the risk of falling that usually occur with older people and patients.
I see, okay. So I have to ask you about the inspiration. So what is, the gap or inspiration of doing this product?
Yep, so the inspiration comes from the problem that a lot of old people and patients who are recovering from surgeries, they have the risk of falling and injuring themselves when they get out of bed. This is because their knees and muscles could be weaker than usual, and some of the beds can be too high. And even though these people might have caretakers or nurses who are more than willing to help them get out of bed safely, but as Thai people, we are taught to be greng jai or to not burden other people. So a lot of these people end up trying to get out of bed by themselves without asking for any help, and they risk falling and injuring themselves. On the other hand, some might just avoid getting out of bed altogether and end up being in bed for too long and becoming inactive.
I see, okay. So you mentioned the problem, okay, or rationale of doing this product already. Now, what is the opportunity here, okay, for this product?
There are a lot of opportunities. In hospitals, most of hospitals in Thailand, the beds are high and actually too high for patients to reach the floor. So they have to kind of jump down a little bit, or there are small stools that they can step on, but those can sometimes be slippery and there's nothing for them to hold on to.
I see, okay. So who are the targeted marketers, I would say targeted customers?
The target customers would be two groups. First would be older people, and the second would be people who are patients in hospital who are just recovering from surgeries.
Okay, so we are wondering whether, what are the competitive advantage of Ben when you compare with other substitute products?
Yeah, so first of all, Ben is a very beautiful piece of furniture. We make it so that it doesn't look like something that's made for sick people. We want, so it ends up being a furniture that's beautiful, and you can proudly display it in your home or beside your bed.
Okay.
And other than that, it helps with not only your physical well-being, but also your emotional well-being.
I see.
We want to make it so that people feel safe when they get up and down from their bed, but we also want them to feel like they're independent. They can do it without needing to be a burden on other people.
I see, and also to build their self-esteem, I would say, okay, of not just relying on this caretakers. Okay, only. So why Ben? So why do you call this innovation Ben?
So Ben comes from the longer name, which is bedside booster. It's a piece of furniture that sits beside the bed, and it boosts many things. It boosts your activeness because you can get out from the bed and do more activities. It also boosts your happiness when you feel like you can rely on yourself, you can socialize more. So it's a bedside booster, but the name is a bit long, so we shorten it to Ben, which is a name that's easier to remember, and it also sounds like a name of a friend who's always there. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, so how can you elaborate again on how to use Ben?
So to use Ben, if you want to go down from the bed, you place your feet on the step, and then you hold on to the handlebar to balance yourself, and then you can just move down. Also, if you want to just sit on the bed, you can also rest your feet on Ben to help support your weight so that your back is not aching when you sit for too long.
Okay.
And Ben can also be used for friends or family who will come to visit you. They can sit on Ben right beside you and chat with you. Nurses and caretakers can also sit there while they do some caring and giving you medication.
I see. Okay, so I'm wondering whether what are the materials that are made, of Ben?
Because we wanted Ben to look like a piece of furniture. So it's made of solid wood and polished and made beautiful, except for the handlebar. The beams are made of stainless steel.
Okay, so will it be slippery, for patients or for users?
Not at all, because the feet of Ben are secured by rubber pieces to the floor, so it doesn't slip. And the top wooden surface itself also has edges, so people's feet will not slip.
I see. Okay, so could you update a bit, on the current process of Ben? So how it's going?
Yeah, so we have been using Ben in several hospitals, mainly the BMA General Hospital in Bangkok, with elderly and people who are recovering from surgeries. And also right now we're in the process of licensing the product to a company.
Okay, so the interested investor or companies can actually contact
Yep.
you contact the center,
Yep.
Especially contact the MTech, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that they can buy license, to commercialize, Ben. Now, any challenges of all in doing this innovation?
I think the most critical part of developing this product is to understand the emotional needs of the users, to focus not only the functional needs. And we learned throughout the process that people do not want to feel like a burden, even though they need help. And they want to feel better about themselves. And they don't want a product that looks like a hospital piece or something that's made for sick people. That's why Ben helps with the emotional requirement and also looks beautiful.
Okay, so is it difficult in order to know or to understand the inside feelings of customers?
It's not difficult. It just takes a lot of time. Just have to immerse yourself with the real potential users. We spend a lot of time in hospitals and nursing homes, and just asking questions, but more importantly, observing the elderlies and the patients and see the activities.
I see. For the last question in this first break is, how do you feel about Ben?
We are very proud of Ben, especially when we get feedback from real customers, real people. We can see physically that people are safer. There are fewer incidents of people falling in hospitals, but the happiest part is hearing when they talk about what they can do more, what activities they can do, and how they can socialize more.
Okay, so thank you very much. This is only the first break, so we will talk a bit together on the break 3, the third break. But for now, it's time for a short break. Right back, we learn more on Internet of Things or IoT. So what IoT is? So please stay tuned on Be My Guest. And welcome back to the program. You're watching Be My Guest with me, Sarosha Ratanapian. And I'm in this break with another researcher, Kun Em Achanani Ranta Sukrat, the researcher of National Electronic and Computer Technology Center, or NETPIE. Swadika. So could you introduce yourself, a bit on what you are doing and your responsibility at NETPIE?
I'm a researcher at NETPIE. I'm in a team to develop the IoT platform called NETPIE. here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could you explain a bit on what IoT is?
IoT, or Internet of Things, is a concept to connect everything in the physical world to the internet. So when we're talking about everything, I mean everyday objects like fridge, like coffee maker, toaster, machines in factories, vehicles, or even living things like trees and animals. By connecting those objects together, they can communicate and exchange data and forming the network of everything.
Okay, so what is the background of IoT?
Yes, the background, the IoT, the exact use of the word IoT is originated in the 90s from MIT lab in the context of electronic tags. But the vision behind the concept of IoT have been floated around much longer in the 80s. To be exact, the word ubiquitous computing has been known in the community of computer scientists for a long time. It describes the future that the technology would be embedded into everything around us so that it can work together to serve us to the point that we don't know that it exists. Like technology has disappeared into the background.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So this is quite a fit description for the objective of IoT today should strive to achieve.
Okay, and how the term IoT or the application of IoT has been entered in Thai arenas?
There are quite a bit of examples, especially the research here at NETTEC that we do. For example, from the foundation up, we have developed this IoT platform called NETPIE. We launched it 2 years ago. IoT platform is basically a backend as a service system that IoT product developer or maker can experiment, like a sandbox. They can experiment and test out their ideas before pushing their product to the production line. Right? They don't have to invest on the infrastructure, like a back-end infrastructure behind the IoT products. They don't have to invest in manpower to maintain the system.
Okay.
Right? And they don't have to go to the steps to set up the back-end system that requires a lot of knowledge about networking and security.
Okay, so that means, it's the NETTEC services, to innovators in Thailand?
It's a concept, and it's also a service that we launched to the public 2 years ago. Yes.
Okay. So who are the public that you mentioned? So what type of people who might be interested in order to join hands with NETTEC?
For anyone, actually, we targeted students and what we call makers and developers
I see.
at the beginning.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So what is the significance or the importance of Internet of Things?
IoT is important because it transcends every sector from smart home to agriculture to factory
I see.
to healthcare to transportation. Because if you think of the concept of IoT, it's not surprising because we're talking about connecting things so that it can communicate and work together in unison. So that concept is useful in every context.
I see. Okay. So what can what can IoT connect to?
Before answering your question, let me tell you how can we turn an object that is standalone into an IoT object. You have to put sensor in it and some processing power, some memory, and some means of connectivity into it. So what's so special about IoT is that you can design, anyone can design IoT system. They don't have to be tech savvy.
I see.
Just a little imagination. For example, if you step into this room, just imagine that everything around you can talk to each other. What you would design them to do for you.
Okay.
For example, you want the AC and the light to turn on automatically, the temperature to be adjusted to your liking, to your thickness of your clothing, or even the numbers of people in the room. Or when you sit on a sofa, you want the TV to turn on to the channel that you prefer at that particular time of the day. And when you step out of the room, you want everything to turn off. So you have like a rough blueprint of design that what objects you should put it into IoT devices, right? So to answer your question, I think even the sky is not out of the limit.
Okay, so actually it's anything.
Everything.
It's everything.
Yes.
Okay, that we want to. It actually depends on our maybe our wish our desire to do
Yes.
so, right? Okay. So the next question will be, could you tell us a bit about the research or, can be the innovations or products that use Internet of Things technology?
Let me raise a couple of questions of the research that we do here at NECTEC. Apart from NETPIE, which is like a foundation for IoT connectivity, we have like applications research that could transform various sectors. For example, in factory and in industrial sector, we have what we call smart maintenance, which is a top to bottom solution for factory to monitor, to visualize the status of their machines, and they can do predictive maintenance. For agriculture, we have what we call a automatic aeration system for aquaculture. We have automatic watering system for produce farming.
I see.
We have all-in-one weather station that can connect to the internet. And we also involved with the Smart City project in Phuket. We installed our very own sensors, air quality, water quality sensors, and send the data to be monitored via NetPie. And also for education, we have an embedded board called KidBright that would help kids learn to code. But because that KidBright is also able to connect to the internet, so it's an IoT object as well. So kids would get to learn the concept of IoT at the same time.
Okay, so actually it's applicable to any industry.
Yes.
Okay, and it's very, very extensively useful. Now what about the progress of IoT right now?
Actually, if you look carefully around us, you would see that IoT has been here for a while. The obvious example is like wearables, like fitness, wristband,
I see.
thing like that, or even smart TV. Those are all IoT devices.
I see.
And as consumers, you're going to see more and more products pushed out to the market. Some might seem weird, some might be useful, but the price now is still pretty high. But you can definitely expect it to come down real
see.
soon. And so something that sounds frivolous now, like a coffee maker, could be a smart coffee maker could be able to sell because it's affordable.
I see.
And yeah.
So who knows, in the future smartphones actually can do anything that we want to when we are talking about consuming products. Okay, but for now it's time for a short break again. We'll be right back. We'll learn more on contribution of Internet of Things and also Ben. So please stay tuned and don't go away from Be My Guest. And welcome back to Be My Guest. I'm Sarosha NETPIE, and I'm still with the two researchers from NASDA, National Science and Technology Development Agency. So we'll start with Ben first. So we'd like to know, many people might be looking forward to seeing the development of Ben. So is there be any progress or development in the future?
Yep, right now we're actually developing the next version of Ben. In the next version, you'll be able to pull out the handlebar and use it as a cane when you walk out away from your bed. And we will continue to keep developing Ben.
I see. Okay, so that will be the second phase
Yeah.
of Ben. Okay, now what about the distribution channel? Many people might be wanting to buy one of Ben. So how can they buy it?
So currently we are in the licensing process to sell the license to companies who can make and distribute Ben. It's not finalized yet, so you can go to the website, I think, and sign up for the newsletter, and we'll keep you updated if there's any progress.
Okay, so
But
what websites they can keep updated?
There are two websites that you can go to. One is for the product line that we're doing. It's called kamifusen.org. And the second one is the website of MTech.
I see, okay. And any prototypes that they can view first?
Yes, if you come to MTech right now, you can see a lot of the prototypes, but also you can come to the NASDA annual conference on the 9th through 13th of March at Thailand Science Park, and there will be displaying the prototypes of Ben.
Okay, so we are looking forward to seeing more of Ben to be commercialized popularly in the market. Now we are moving to the Internet of Things, or IoT. We would like to know more about the practical use of Internet of Things. So could you give us maybe some examples?
Yes, I'd like the opportunity to showcase one of the smart factory that we get to involve with, which is NETPIE company. They are one of the major player in motor manufacturing, and they turn one of their factories here in Thailand into a smart factory using only like extraordinary small budget and just inexpensive off-the-shelf hardwares and NETPIE. So this is a very, very encouraging case for small to medium business to kind of look up to.
I see. So what are the feedbacks so far on the smart factory?
Actually, there are pretty encouraging number of people that contact us that want to transition their factories into smart factory. But NETPIE is a good example that you can probably don't have to go big. You can start small, maybe starting from some pain point in your factory first. You don't have to buy the whole big expensive solution from top to bottom.
I see.
And go from there.
Okay, so I'm sure that there are so many manufacturers or factory owners or even entrepreneurs right now that want to apply the Internet of Things in their businesses. So what are suggestions, for starting points?
If you have no idea at all where to start, we here at NETPIE are open for consultation as well.
Okay, so you can contact NETPIE if you are interested to further Internet of Things or IoT. Now, what about the contribution to society? Because when you talk about IoT or when you talk about BEN, so they stem from challenges and from problems in the society. So what are the contributions there?
So BEN and other products that we are developing are contributing to the problem that Thai society is facing right now, which is the problem of aging society. And we would like to help solve this problem, not just from the physical side, not just to help them be safe and move around more, but also to emphasize on the emotional side as well. And we have to think of older people as resources, as able people, not just a burden on the society. So hopefully this would help invigorate the old people and let them stay fit and more active.
Okay. And what about IoT?
IoT is technology that is coming now. It's here to stay. It's the next phase of internet. And IoT from the technological side is very, very ready to be used. But we don't see IoT being applied like everywhere because more of so on the problem on the business side, meaning how to make the money out of it. So like I said earlier, the showcase example are usually the case that proves benefits, like proven number benefits, like smart factories, like precision farming, like smart cities that spring out everywhere right now.
I see.
So anyway, if you are interested in IoT, you should probably start now because you're still ahead of the curve. But if you wait for like 6 months from now, you might be playing catching up.
I see. So what are challenges of IoT right now in this century?
I think the first problem would be interoperability. So right now, different manufacturing device, different brand, you need different apps to control. And that's frustrating for consumers. And it beats the purpose of IoT, and it can't go on like this. So you're going to see more consolidation effort to bring these devices together to be able to work together, right? Like smart hub model that we see in smart home, like Amazon Echo, Google Home. Those are the effort that try to bring different brand devices together by accessing it from a single point.
Okay.
So we're going to see more. And we're going to see more, we have to consider more about data issue, or either data privacy, data security. These need framework for a service provider to follow, to enforce this service provider to follow.
Okay, but as time goes by, so these challenges will be addressed.
Yes.
In your opinion?
It has to be addressed.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. So last but not least, any final notes for our viewers would be my guess, because I'm sure that you're inspirators, for our youngsters, or even innovators who are watching us right now.
I have two final notes. One is for the youngsters who are interested in creating new innovations. I would like them to think about using design as a new way to solve problems for the society. There are so many opportunities, and design can be a creative solution. And secondly, I mentioned the NASDA annual conference already, and I would like to invite people to come and visit it because it's going to feature not only the work from MTech but from all centers of NASDA, and you get to see a lot of exciting stuff.
Now, what about you?
For me, it's for students out there. I encourage them to be more open, going outside the class and explore their interests. It doesn't have to be science. It can be anything. Find your hobby, find the things that you love, so that for the rest of your life you get to be something that you really want to be.
Okay, so thank you very much, okay, for your presence and your time, okay, today. ขอบคุณค่ะ In the digitalized world, people are living life with a great connection with internet. And there is this term, Internet of Things. So basically, our guests show us the interconnection by the internet of computing devices embedded in everyday objects, enabling them to send and receive data. So we never imagine our lives can be this easy, do we? And with Ben, patients' lives will be much easier in the future. So keep our fingers crossed for these inventors and these innovators. And that's all the time we have for Be My Guest this week. Thank you very much for watching us and tuning in. For more information, you can log into thainews.prd.go.th/en. And I'm Sarosha Ratanapian. สวัสดีค่ะ